Okay, we're back at the dashboard once again, and we are ready to move on to the next step, which is to import your historical data. So once we've set the conversion date, let's say beginning of the year, January 1, our next step is we need to go ahead and grab all the transactions from January 1 until the start of the bank feed. So the bank feed, when you first initiated it, it went back at some point into the past. You might have chosen a particular date, maybe from the first of the month that you're currently in. You also could have chosen all available transactions, in which case it would have gone back as far as your online banking. And so I mentioned it before, but when you choose all available transactions when you start the bank feed, it generally only goes back a month to 2, maybe 3 months tops. I generally haven't seen any feed go back farther than 90 days. And let's take this Discover card, for example. I chose all available transactions, and I'm going to go ahead. If you click the link, go to bank statements, you see that my oldest bank statement only goes back to July 8th. Yeah, so you see July 8th, August 8th, September 8th. So the oldest transaction that was imported from the automatic feed was only July 8th. So then the question becomes, how do we go about getting all of the transactions from the first of the year, if that was our conversion date? For this example, it is. So from the first of the year to July 8th. And to do that, we're going to have to manually import those transactions. I'm going to show you how to do that here. So I've logged into the Discover card, and then I have gone to the account activity, and every bank account or credit card interface is going to be a little bit different, but in order to download transactions, you're generally going to have to go look up the account activity, search the transactions somehow. In Discover, I go to account activity, and then I have to choose the activity period. So here are the allotted, predefined activity periods. Since for our case, year to date makes the most sense, since we're looking up January through July 8th. I've gone ahead and chosen year to date, and here we see all of the most recent transactions. And in our example, these transactions go actually a little bit farther than we want them to, but that's quite all right. There's not too many. We'll be able to delete them easily, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So now that I've chosen my defined activity period, you can also search them dynamically. In Discover, however, if I choose just the date periods, it's not going to give me all of the file export options that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go over and use the predefined periods. And what I mean is, when I click this download button, it gives me 5 different download types. If I were to just search a specific time period, it only gives me Excel and CSV, and we can certainly work with that. But for this video, I'm going to actually show you how to upload the Quicken, QuickBooks, or QFX files. These don't require any editing, and I'm going to actually show you in a later video what do you do if you only get CSV options. It requires a little bit more customization, a little more detail, but the next video is going to show you, I'm actually going to have a video from Xero, their in-house training. It's going to show you how to handle CSV files, but for this one, I'm going to go ahead and choose QuickBooks, the QBO file. Click download. Now that I've downloaded that, I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop. I'm going to upload it into Xero. So now we're back. I've come over to Xero in the background. A little bit of time warp. I've gone and saved it to my desktop, so I'll be able to find it more easily. And so now that we've gone into our bank account, we've looked up the transactions that between our conversion date and our first automatic import date, I've saved that to exported it via QBO file, QuickBooks file, and I have saved it to my desktop. We're now ready to import it into Xero. To do that, for each account, you just go to this Manage button, and under the third column, all the way at the bottom, you'll see Import a Statement. And so this is the Import Bank Transactions screen, and you can always tell which card you're in at the top. It'll tell you which account you're importing for, and it'll tell you these are all the file formats that you can import. And it recommends you use OFX, but that's the highest recommended. We didn't have that option. We did however have the option of QOFX, QBO, or QIF. These four are the most preferred, and if you just don't have any other option, go ahead, you can use CSV. So now that I know that I've grabbed the QBO file, I'm going to go and browse, and here we are at the desktop. Grab my Discover year-to-date summary. I'm going to click Open and then Import. And just like magic, it's come over to the credit card screen where we start handling the transactions, and here it tells us 13 statement lines are imported and 0 were duplicates. So to give you a more high view, I'm going to come over to cash coding, and here we see from year to date all the transactions that have come in. I know there's some overlap between July 8th and the date of this import. There are going to be some duplicates. So I know, see, July 8th, we have 2 of these here. They're both duplicates. There's going to be duplicates all the way down until, looks like, for this whole time period, there's duplicates. So what I'm actually going to do here is uncheck all. You can delete these really easy. From the cache coding screen, all you have to do is come to this drop down and click delete. It's going to say, hey, are you sure? Generally this is only required for duplicate statement lines. Go ahead, click yes. And I'm not going to do this all in the video, but I'm just going to go ahead and delete all my duplicates. And once I have, what that means is from our conversion date, January 1st, all the way to the present date, we should have a seamless overlap between the manual import and the automatic import. It should have all the transactions imported year to date. And so the final step for us is, once we've deleted all these, just go ahead and repeat this process for not only the Discover card, but also for the Wells Fargo checking and the PayPal and whatever other account you may have. And once you've done that, the historical import is a wrap, and we're ready to move on to the next step.